Hiya, welcome back to my channel. I'm Spudjester, and today I'm going to be talking about Romeo and Juliet. Now, there's three things you should know about Romeo and Juliet. First of all, it's not a love story, it's a tragedy. Second of all, it's still relevant today because it's about teenagers thinking they know better than everyone else. And third of all, and this is what today's video is about, the entire action of the play starts in the morning from Sunday and finishes before the sun's even come up on a Thursday. We're going to start with Sunday morning. Sunday morning starts with a street fight between the Montagues and the Capulets. The Montagues, I'm going to look back here, Romeo's family. The Capulets, Juliet's family. They have a fight and they get in trouble. After the fight, Benvolio, Romeo's cousin, talks to Romeo's parents to go and find out why Romeo's been so sad lately. Turns out he's hung up on some chick named Rosaline. At the end of Sunday morning, Paris is talking to Lord Capulet, which is Juliet's dad. Paris is this dude in green because he wants to marry Juliet, who's almost 13. Sunday afternoon, Lord Capulet decides that Paris and Juliet should meet at a ball, so he sends out invitations to all of his mates. Romeo and Benvolio catch wind of this party. Benvolio convinces Romeo to go and check out the other chicks in town compared to Rosaline. Meanwhile, Mama Capulet and the nurse who's helped raise Juliet, they talk to Juliet about the fact that she's going to meet Paris at this party and she's going to get married. Probably, if she wants to. Around about this time, we find out that Romeo and Benvolio are mates with Mercutio. They decide they're going to tag along with Mercutio to this party, and while they go, they talk about dreams and premonitions. That's about it. It's Sunday evening. We're at the ball. Romeo and Juliet meet. They fall in love at first sight. They kiss. Tramps. It's like 5 seconds. Bloody teenagers like, woo, hormones. Tybalt, who's Juliet's cousin, hears Romeo's voice at the party and is just triggered, wants to fight him, decides he's going to fight him tomorrow because his uncle slaps him around a little bit and says, nah. And at the end of the party, Romeo and Juliet discover that they're supposed to be enemies. But they're teenagers, so they're going to do what they want anyway. Sunday night, more like 1 a.m. Monday morning, Romeo ditches his friends as they're leaving the party and climbs into the Capulet backyard, where he just hopes to run into Juliet. Like a stalker. Turns out, she's kind of okay with that, and they promise to get married. Monday morning, the sun's shining, and Romeo goes to his mate, friend, confidant, the family priest, Friar Lawrence, to ask for help, because that's who he normally hangs out with, almost like a teacher. He asks, hey, will you marry me to this Juliet chick? Who Friar Lawrence already knows because he's also their kind of family priest. And he goes, this is probably going to bring peace to the family, so why not? Later that morning, the nurse goes out, finds Romeo in the street hanging out with his mates, and he says, guess what? I can marry Juliet. And she goes, great. She also thinks this is a good idea, even though it defies common sense. Then we have this whole scene where the nurse has taken forever to tell Juliet, who's just sitting at home, thirsty, waiting to find out if she can marry this dude. They get married at 1 o'clock. That's the afternoon. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Romeo's back hanging out with his mates. Juliet's waiting for him to consummate the marriage that evening. But that's okay because Tybalt rocks up, kills Romeo's best mate Mercutio, so then he's triggered, stabs Tybalt, who's just become his cousin, and he gets kicked out of Verona. What an afternoon, am I right? So productive. It's Monday evening, Romeo's banished, but he's actually hiding out with Friar Lawrence, and the nurse goes back to Juliet and tells her that Tybalt's dead, and that Romeo killed him. So she's got this conflict. My cousin's dead, my husband killed him, and I'm thirsty enough just to go to the husband. Cousin's already dead, not much I can do. So the nurse calms down Juliet, says she'll go get Romeo. Romeo's hiding out with Friar Lawrence, crying, says he's going to kill himself because he can't be with his wife of 3 hours because the teenage reaction is, Oh my gosh, I can't be with the person I like. I might as well just kill myself. Monday night, Paris is still hanging around the Capulet house going, how about that marriage to Juliet? Even though their nephew, Tybalt, has just been murdered. But that's okay, this guy's just as thirsty as the other teens. It's Tuesday morning. Romeo's waking up at Juliet's house. He has to skedaddle because if he's found alive in Verona, he's not going to be alive for much longer. The nurse comes up, says that Mum's on her way, so Romeo takes off before anyone can see that he's there. Now, Mum turns up and tells Juliet that she's getting married on Thursday to Paris. Bit of an issue, she's already married. At this point, her dad threatens to disown her. He says, you're mine, I can give you to my friend if I want. So she asks nurse for advice, and the nurse says, marry this Paris dude. Forget Romeo, he's as good as dead anyway. At this point, Juliet says she'll go to church, see Friar Lawrence, and ask for forgiveness for the sin of disobeying her parents. The truth is, when she gets there in the afternoon, she's threatening to kill herself because she doesn't know what to do. So again, we've got this teenager, I don't know what to do. I can't be with the guy that I love. I might as well just kill myself. But these guys seem pretty serious about it. So maybe we should be taking them seriously. Friar Lawrence says, whoa, hold up. If you're willing to die, maybe you'll undergo a thing like death? And he gives her this potion that's gonna knock her out, make her seem like she's dead for like a day and a half. To trick everyone, where he can then reunite her with Romeo. He's gonna send some letters, tell Romeo of the plan. Tuesday evening, Juliet returns, apologizes to her parents, and the wedding is moved to Wednesday, the next day. She sends everyone off to get the wedding ready, takes the potion, is out cold. Wednesday morning, and the household wakes up ready for a wedding. But Juliet seems to be dead. So they change all the wedding plans to the funeral plans. Paris is pretty bummed. Mum and Dad are pretty bummed. Friar Lawrence is there and he's like, yep, she's definitely dead because this guy does everything in town, basically. And they get ready for a funeral. Romeo finds out from Balthazar that Juliet's dead, but he thinks it's for real. Asks for letters from Friar Lawrence because he knows that if there was a plan, Friar Lawrence would tell him, but Balthazar's got nothing. Before he heads back to Verona, Romeo stops by an apothecary, which is like an olden day chemist, and gets himself a poison, one that's just going to stop him dead. And he decides he's going to go back to Verona, go to the vault or the tomb where Juliet's laid up, take his poison and just lie there dead next to her because he didn't get over Rosaline fast enough. He's not going to get over this one. These teenagers! Wednesday night and things are clearly not going according to plan. But just to add to that, Friar Lawrence finds out that the letters that he sent to Romeo with his mate Friar John didn't get there. Friar John got stuck in some plague house, was quarantined, and decided to bring the letters back instead of making sure Romeo got them. Friar Lawrence is freaking out a little bit because he knows that Juliet's going to be waking up pretty soon, and he knows he can't get word to Romeo fast enough. So he thinks he might send a letter, go get Juliet himself, and then try and meet up with Romeo later. The rest of the action of the play happens from pretty much midnight till before dawn on Thursday. So this makes it less than 4 days, or almost perfectly 4 days. Romeo arrives at Juliet's tomb and sends Balthazar away. Turns out Paris has also turned up at the tomb and sent his page or help away, and thinks that Romeo's there to, graffiti or do some mischief to the tomb. They fight and Romeo kills Paris. Paris has not really done any damage to anyone so far, so this kind of sucks. Yeah, he's just been this dolt, this absolute bumbling fool who just wants to marry this cute girl. Poor dude. Romeo goes into the tomb, discovers Juliet, and takes his poison. He's out pretty quickly. Friar Lawrence finally turns up. He's been tripping over tombstones apparently because he's old and can't carry a torch or something. He goes into the tomb, sees Paris dead, sees Romeo dead, and just goes, oh, what am I gonna do now? I've really messed up. At which point Juliet wakes up and she's like, yay, let's go, everything's going to plan. And Friar Lawrence is like, kind of not. Let's get out of here. And she's like, no, not until I've got Romeo. And he's like, well, he's there dead. And so's your other hope, your other husband who you could have redeemed yourself with. He's also dead. So, nunnery? Friar Lawrence hears something outside, freaks out, asks if she wants to come with him. She goes, I said no. So he just takes off and leaves a 12-year-old in a tomb with 2 dead bodies. Juliet decides she's going to try and poison herself like Romeo. She tries the vial, no luck, it's empty. So she tries to kiss his lips, maybe there's some poison left there. No luck either. So she sees that he has a dagger. She picks it up, straight up stabs herself, falls over, dead. At this point, the whole town turns up to the tomb because the prince's page and Balthazar went and kind of told everyone that stuff was happening. The Night Watch have actually captured Friar Lawrence, who's still just tripping over tombstones like an idiot in the graveyard. He can't even make a clean getaway at this point. Because Friar Lawrence is captured, he ends up confessing to his part in everything and everything that happened. He says that the nurse can help out and verify the story. The prince, hearing all of this, has decided that, well, everyone's been punished. Especially the Montagues, because at this point, we've also found out that Romeo's mum has died of heartbreak. She was so upset that her son was banished, her heart just gave out. Finally, the 2 dads, Lord Capulet, Lord Montague, they figured that losing their only children is enough to end this ancient grudge. So these empty brawls and everything, all done, all finished because they've got nothing else to lose. And they agree to put up gold statues of each other's kids. So that's about it. 4 days, from Sunday morning until Thursday before the sun's even come up. 2 kids have fallen in love, killed themselves, and 4 other people in the process. It's definitely not a love story. Still teenagers completely self-absorbed and not caring what happens around them. And it's a story that keeps getting told over and over again. It was even loosely The Lion King 2, which nobody saw. So hopefully that helped you understand the story of Romeo and Juliet. Hopefully it's a nice short video. I'm going to have a link in the description to just a run sheet of everything I went over today, as well as a link to a copy of this. The Montagues, the Capulets, the Prince's family, and everyone else. So you can see how everyone interacts with everyone else and follow along. Who knows? Maybe it'll help you understand Shakespeare. Or a school assignment, or a uni assignment, or you just actually finally understand what this play is about. In the meantime, if you liked what I had to say, hit the like button, subscribe if you want me to make some more stuff. Turns out I'm making teaching things, I might do some book reviews, I don't know. Subscribe to Dream Whale. Thanks again to all the people who helped me put stuff together. Jason Roof, go and subscribe to his channel. Dream Whale, go subscribe to his channel. And blah, 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 blah words. Thank you. Mwah. You don't need this face.